So we're just gonna have a
Hope this,
conversation. We're gonna rock it out.
hope this daggone thing works this time. This stuff is so
So there's like not any random stuff hanging out over here. Oh, we're live. It looks
unpredictable.
like hello.
Yeah, hopefully kicking this in live right about now. I'll see you in a second. I like when I see that. Okay, that's a good thing. Let's go live. And we should be live. Good afternoon, everybody. It's your boy, Leroy McKenzie Jr., coming to you live. And we are here with a special guest today. I'm going live because of this special occasion. And I wanted to bring this young lady on because of everything that she has going on, the impact that she is having, not only with individuals, but in the community and everything. And it's just a pleasure and an honor to have her, to be able to talk with her right now. And I hope I know y'all can see her right there, that smile, that smile. And this is none other. If you don't know who she is, you're about to know who she is. I'm gonna say that again. If you don't know who she is, you're about to know who she is, and you need to know who she is. This is one of those people that you need to know, especially if you want to get what focus, right? Because that's what we're here to talk about today. So if you want to get focused, you want to see none other than the focus trainer, and that is Miss Cherish McMillan. So, Cherish, thank you for coming on real quick. We just came on to kind of greet the people, let the people know what's going on, and what we got going on today, and just the special that we have going on today, and how they can talk to get empowered and impacted by the focus trainer, and that's none other than you. So we're going to talk a little bit about all things focus today, and we're at the beginning of the week. So how no better way to start off the week than to get focused, to be focused, and have you start off the people's week talking about being focused. So I'm gonna let you go. Let's what we were actually just talking about. Let's just go into that because you're such a cheerful person, and I want you to just if you can just refresh everybody just about. Let's go with who you are first, and then we'll talk about what you talked about being in high school and being that
Okay.
enthusiast for everybody and other people.
Yeah. So just a brief introduction of who I am. My name is Cherish McMillan, and I am your focus trainer. And so we do have a special event that's taking place today, but I want you to understand the person behind the book. I want you to understand who I am behind my title of the focus trainer. See, I am a person who is very goal oriented, and I've come to understand that when I set goals and when I really focus on those goals that I set for myself, I succeed. And so I've noticed that every time I reach success, I have a amazing, positive, celebratory feeling, and I'm able to bring others into that experience so that they can celebrate with me and it brings them joy. Well, what greater way for me to help you to experience the extreme joy that I'm having at that moment than to train you to succeed so that you then can be a master of success through my easy 5-step program. So I just want to let you know that I have achieved success in various categories of life and in different arenas, including fitness, education, professionally, and even personally with family and friends, relationally. And so I have had experience in a multitude of areas as it relates to success. And I want to see you come along for the ride as me and my mentor, Leroy, were talking about earlier. I want you to come along for the ride with me on this success train. I was speaking with Leroy earlier about the event that we're having today. with one of the goals that I have specifically today in becoming an Amazon best-selling author. And Leroy is already in that group, and he invited me to the table. And so I'm taking up the challenge, which is part of the process and goal completion. And I'm making my way to the table today. So thank you so much, Leroy, for giving me a chance to do a brief introduction of myself.
Well, absolutely. And like I said, we are about enlightening, empowering, impacting people. And that is something that you do. And that's what we're focused on today, because we want people to be able to reach their assignments, as I call them, their assignments, and be able to do what it is that they've been assigned to do, what they've been purposed to do. And I know that that is your, with the things that you do, being an author, being a speaker, being a visionary, that's what you get people in line to be able to do, is to be able to be focused on what it is that they want to achieve. And they can do that by actually doing those things that you have outlined in your ebook, that people can go to right now. They can go to Amazon and
Right now.
right now, right now, and
Yes.
they can go to the link. And I'm putting the link in here now, for folks to be able to go to, and be able to download the there we go. They'll be able to download the ebook, for them to be able to get it. And the thing of it is this is not, we're not just doing this just to be doing this. This is something that, and those of you that know me, and those I'm sure that may be tuned in that know Cherish, they know that what we do is to make people better. And as I always tell my clients, and whenever I'm speaking, my assignment at all is always to make you better after you have the encounter with me than you were before you have the encounter with me. And this is one of those things that, um, before you had this, before you have this download, before you have this ebook, you may have been, you may be focused, and you say, well, I need a little more discipline. I need to be more strategic in what I'm doing. And that's what Cherish does. She gives you the strategy. She gives you the, I don't say blueprint, I say the black print. She gives you the black print for how to get you from having a vision or having the thought of doing something and being something, to actually implementing and seeing it come to fruition. And she has a code for you to be able to do that. And her program and her ebook shows you how to be able to do that. And we're going to talk just a little bit about that today, because we want you to go right now. We want you to go right now to download the ebook. I can't hear you, Cherish. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay.
Right now. No, I was trying to allow you to say it.
Oh.
No, I mean, I know earlier you brought up my enthusiasm and cheerfulness.
Absolutely.
And I was trying to kind of temper that a little bit, just because I wanted you to be able to finish your statement. But I was just like cheering you on silently so that you could complete your statement. But I'm just going to jump on in here. And we kind of talked about how in high school I was such an enthusiast. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but not much of that has changed. Just to kind of tell you and give you an example of a recent experience where that was personified truly. I volunteered at a marathon, and this is prior to COVID-19. So, no, don't get concerned. We don't have any marathon runners out here that are not practicing social distancing, or at least I hope not. I've seen a lot of marathon races that are going on digitally, and various fitness challenges that are happening digitally. But prior to social distancing being the normal practice, we had a marathon here in my area. And I've previously completed a marathon, and that's actually in my bio for the book. And we were at a water stop. It was me and my team, and I had some of my big kids, as I lovingly call them. They're some high school students that were in the area, and I was kind of coaching them on how to make sure that the water is there when the runners come up, why it's important for the runners to have the water at this point, and what they need to do in addition to giving them the water. Okay, so we were at the 12-mile mark, and that's approximately halfway through the half marathon. And I intentionally chose that spot because I remember myself that when I was in that position, when I ran the marathon and I was on the other side of the table, that was a decision-making point for me. At that moment, when I was halfway through the marathon, my vision was blurred, my thoughts were clouded, my body was done with it, and I was just really not sure what was taking place. And I just kind of realized that I had a special kind of empathy and a special kind of understanding at that point, because I was able to encourage the runners as they came up, because I knew what their experience was like. So I was overly excited and overly energetic, kind of like, that tax mascot that you see outside the buildings that are like dancing and stuff, and they're spinning the signs around, and they have their costumes and stuff on. Imagine that times 10 at a marathon when you're thinking about giving up in the middle of the race. That was me. I got, lots of people who were super duper appreciative of that. And, they just stopped to get their water and said, thank you. You're the most energetic person that we've seen so far. And I really needed it because I really am tired at this point. And, I really understood that because that was me at that moment. And so I was able to coach the kids, the big kids, on how they have to keep it going. They have to keep the momentum going, because these runners have been running literally for approximately 12 miles by this point. They are going to need to recover. They need to get refreshed. They need to be replenished, and they need to be able to continue on in their race. Now, when I was in high school, I was voted most school spirit. Okay, and I was able to.
She was a cheerleader. She was not just the cheerleader. She was like the head cheerleader, weren't you?
Yeah, I was the captain of the pep squad, so we were like dancing and stuff. I was a cheerleader, so I was cheering. I was doing both. I was doing double time for the school spirit. And so I was talking to Leroy before we officially went live, and he lovingly called me a glamour girl. Shout out to Alice McMillan, my mumsy, who trained me to be this way, and who actually bought this shirt for me. Okay, she didn't buy it for me. I actually kind of permanently borrowed it from her closet. And
I like that. I like
kind
that.
of let
Permanently
me keep
borrowed it. I like that. That's a new one.
Shout out to Mumsy for the wardrobe today.
I think you just taught a lot of women a new term right now. I permanently borrowed that.
I permanently borrowed it. It's how people ask you, can I borrow a fry? When you go to McDonald's, how do you borrow a fry? You have it forever. Just ask me for a fry. Like, be clear in what you're asking me for. We're going to come back to that point, because that actually, I got a point there, but I'm going to come back to that, and making sure that you have clarity and you're clear in what you're asking for and what you're looking for in the future. But we were talking about how it's most school spirit. And, they took our pictures and stuff for the senior superlatives and things like that. And, of course, my school colors, shout out to Brandywine High School, my school colors were blue and white. And so guess what? My hair was also blue and white for the picture. And so I was just like super excited when I, kind of was recognized for the enthusiasm and spirit that I had for the school. I really did love my school. I met a lot of amazing people. My teachers were great, and I grew a lot. As a person, my confidence grew at that time. And, there were a lot of pivotal moments that took place for me in high school. But just to kind of circle back to the hair deal a little bit. So Leroy was like, purple hair, glamour girl. And I said, you know what? I am most focused, spirited today, because we are on a mission to help people succeed in life. And I need to make sure that you have the energy and excitement to do that, which is one of my main points in my book, making sure that you have fun while you are on the path to success and in your journey. I'm going to do a lot of circling back, so stick with me. This is also part of your journey because sometimes you're going to have to bounce back and forth through steps that you take when you're working through the strategy or the code that I've given you for this book, this interactive workbook that you will be able to work through as you're going through your journey to success. Back to the marathon. So, midway through the marathon that I did myself, can you believe that there was actually a celebration going on for the people who quit halfway through?
Wow.
Like, it was a full-blown party, okay? Can you imagine feeling like it is the end of the earth and your body is literally about to 1, 2, 3 tap out, and you see a celebration going on for the people who gave up?
Wow.
Wow. I mean, that was really a concept and something that I had to kind of take in when I got to that point. You literally had, now think of this. I am a previous cheerleader. I'm still a cheerleader for people to win in life and succeed, but I was a formal cheerleader for sports when I was in high school. There were actual cheerleaders that were cheering you on to give up halfway through the race.
Wow.
There was a full-on party. There was a concert. There were beverages. There was food. There was dancing. Swag was given out. I mean, like, they had little flares with, like, the confetti popping out and stuff. The balloons and everything, you know, for you to go under and all that good stuff. People clapping, you know, just okay with you giving up. And so it took a lot of strength for me to go past that, because I mean, the thought definitely crossed my mind. Like, whoa, I mean, this is a girl who likes to have a good time, and that looks like a good time. And right now I'm in the middle of this, and this don't feel like a good time anymore. You know, I'm just saying, because I'm, you know, at this point, I'm just trying to survive, right? And so that was a pivotal moment for me in a life-changing situation. I believe, if I recall correctly, when I was doing some research about marathon runners, if I recall correctly, it may have changed at this point, but I think about 1% or so, there's a very small percentage of the population who has completed full marathons. And so that's just a testament to the dedication that it takes to follow through and finish. The point that I wanted to make right there was the fact that I understand what it feels like when you are on the journey to success and you are ready to throw your hands up. Why? Because it looks like everyone else is having such an amazing time after they threw their hands up and they gave up. But guess what? I actually followed through and finished. And here's the other point. When I got to the other mile marks within the race, remember earlier I told you I was the water stop person and coach for the 12-mile mark for my big kids, the high schoolers. There were better water stop stands and snack stands as I moved forward in the marathon. Okay, so in the beginning, they were giving you, okay, maybe like the off-brand Gatorade. You might get a granola bar here and there, but like they had like Mike's Lemonade at one of the later marks. They had like homemade brownies.
Oh, wow.
From at another mile mark. They had like, yeah, because it gives you energy, it gives you a sugar surge and stuff. There's a method behind the madness.
Okay.
They had, you know, the Gatorade goos and stuff like that. They had those. And so what I'm trying to explain to you is that if you continue on with the journey, help will come. You will continue to be encouraged, but there's a caveat there, because it may be a little quiet in between. Okay, there's not a water stop at every single step of the race, okay? But people and things come along to help you at specific moments and marks along the way. I noticed that a lot of times when we are moving forward and we're trying to succeed, that there's a lot of excitement in the beginning. Everybody's all hyped, right? Like, speaking for my graduates, congratulations! You're in the middle of a celebration. You just finished a major achievement, right? And everybody was all excited when you started college, right? But my question for you is, were there any quiet moments while you were working through your degree? Were there any moments where you were kind of like, wow, I feel a little, alone, a little isolated, right? Because now we're social distancing. So you have literally been able to experience some literal isolation. My focus in this book is on what's happening when you are in the isolation portion of your success journey. I'm trying to speak to you when you're in those quiet moments and you're just not quite certain how you're going to get to the next step or the next water stop. That's what we're talking about here when we're focusing on moving forward and succeeding. Leroy.
I love that. I love how you did that, and how you talked about the journey that people will be on, especially young adults that just got their graduation commencement yesterday from President, and I said that President Barack Obama, um, with him addressing the students, the high school students, as well as the college students that were moving to their next level, and and we'll get to the older adults in this, but let's focus on them right now, on the high school students that are moving into college, and then
Yeah.
those college students that are moving into the workforce now. And them
Yeah.
being focused, because like you said, they've reached a particular milestone, but what we
Yes.
hope that they will understand is that's not it. That's only a piece of the journey. That's only part of the marathon, because as Nipsey Hussle taught us, the marathon continues. So
Yes.
you're always working towards the next water stop, like you said. What's the
Yeah.
next water stop for you? So as a high school graduate, what's the next water stop for you? Is it college? Is it the service? Is it going into the workforce? What's your next stop for you? If you're a college graduate, what's the next stop for you? Is it entering? Hopefully, it's entering into the workforce, or it may even be starting your own business, because you may already have it and you may already be entered into entrepreneurship. But what is that next stop for you? And being able to be focused on that next stop, because I like what you said, and I hope that people really honed in on what you said. When you get to particular um, parts in your life, there are going to be distractions that come. And that halfway point for you, that 12 miles, and
Jesus.
having the party streamers, and having people there partying and having a good
I've
time.
muted.
And you got the aroma of the food floating around through your nose and everything like that. But there's still more to go. There's still 12 more miles to be able to go for you, to be able to make it to your next stop. So you've got to be able to get to that next stop. And what are those things that you need to do in order to be able to get there? And the only way that you get there is by being focused.
All right, you are muted. You are muted. You're
How
on mute.
how can people get through?
All right.
How can
Okay,
people?
hold on. You're back now?
Yes,
You froze for a second there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
how can people um, get understanding how to be focused to get them to that next stop? What is it that young adult can do, that teenager can do? Because we're talking to teenagers now. We're talking to teenagers and young adults. What can they do to allow them to be focused on that next space that you talked about, where it's just you and your mind, in order to be able to get to that next step?
Woo! So, some of you, since I'm speaking to my big kids and my young adults, some of you may or may not be familiar with the concept of the inner chatter, okay? So the inner chatter is that voice inside of you that is kind of speaking to you when you are in quiet moments or when you're in challenging moments or when you're not sure what you're going to do, okay? So it's important for us to control the inner chatter, what's going on in your mind. The inner chatter in layman's terms, or simply put, is your thoughts, okay? So we need to try to make sure that we are taking control of our thoughts. The way we take control of our thoughts is to focus on the right thing. That brings me to one of the points within my code or strategy in my book, concentration. You have to concentrate on what you need to do in order to get where you need to go, okay? So I want to make sure that you do not make a mistake that I made when I reached those milestones in my life. Now, when I finished high school, okay, I was an upward bound student. So I was very well aware of the significance of college and why it was important for me to go. However, Miss School Spirit was having a good time and didn't necessarily plan strategically for what she was going to do next. But I had reached the water of graduation for high school. And then at that water stop, my help came, okay? That help that I was talking about, that encouragement that I was talking about, that hand up, not the hand out, but the hand up that I needed at the moment by way of University of Eastern Shore, allowing me to come in. Whoop, whoop, hawk, pride, catch it. All right, I tried so hard to remain calm. But that cheerleader spirit carried into college as well. Still bleeding maroon and gray all day, every day. Now that that's out my system. So I went to University of Maryland Eastern Shore, okay? And I was still kind of unclear. I knew that I wanted to do something. Initially, I thought I just kind of wanted to do news and media and things like that. And so I majored in English. I joined different clubs and got involved in different activities and groups that allowed me to use my voice and be on camera and things like that, right? So I have professors and mentors, and one specific mentor, Dr. Betty Taylor Thompson, came along the way. And she was kind of like my focus trainer in undergrad. And she came alongside of me and she said, Cherish, you need to get it together and focus, okay? You really need to focus. I mean, you're doing all right now, and you're doing all right in all of these different areas and doing all these things, right? I was not necessarily master of one thing. I, was a jack of many trades, but I wasn't master of one thing. And so she helped me hone in specifically on networking skills at that time. So she started teaching me how to go around and meet people and connect with people to help me move forward in life so that I would have that as a tool in my tool chest and part of my code, and it became intertwined in part of my DNA in the way that I worked so that I could focus and be successful in moving forward in that area of my life. So one thing that I would definitely recommend for you all who just graduated is to make sure that you have a mentor in place. Okay, now this is not just going to be anybody. Make sure that it is someone that you respect and someone that you believe truly cares about your well-being and your professional and personal success. You need this person because they are going to help you to focus on what's important and concentrate while you're doing so, because you can be distracted while you're focusing. Someone has to help you concentrate during that process. Someone needs to help you to be unwavering during that time period, because you can get shaky, just like I did during the halfway point in the marathon. Now that's for my high school kids, okay? When you get in college, if you connect with that one professor whether it's virtually or in person. Stay connected, see if they want to be your mentor, and if they're not open to it, see if they can connect you with someone who can help you in moving forward, because now they are a respected person and professional and educator in your life, and they are there to be a resource for you. Remember that everyone on the college campus that is an employee, whether it's virtual or not, is a resource. If you are not going to college, whoever is working with you in whatever arena you're in, whether it be military or you're going into a specific trade, or even if you're unsure of what you're doing, all of those around you are a resource in some capacity. Use your resources, find a mentor. Those who have just finished college, let me tell you a little something about that too. Here we go again. Okay, we're at the end. It's a big celebration. I finished, woohoo, thinking, oh, things will just come to me because I finished. And I did all this. I busted my behind, and so I'm thinking stuff's just gonna come to me. Absolutely not. Do not fall into that trap. It wasn't a great experience. It was not a great experience, thinking that you're going to walk across the stage or that you're just going to get your degree and things are just going to come to you. So what I would recommend for you to stay focused professionally as you're preparing to move forward in the workforce and whatever trade that you move forward in is to make sure that you actually have a strategy and plan to get there, to actually secure a position so that you're not just kind of lost when you get done. The reason that I'm able to be such an authentic focus trainer for you is because I've experienced so many moments where I was unfocused or lost and had to find focus, that I know how to train you on how to reroute as the GPS tells us and get back on track and focus and move forward. This is why I am qualified to train you in the area of focus. So then I finished undergrad. Woo! For my undergrad graduates. All right, so those who just finished their master's degree, I'm coming for you right now. So let's talk about what happened. You would think I would learn something by the time I finished my master's degree, right? Okay, so I finished my master's degree and I'm like, okay, so I'm hoping that something will come through. At this point, I'm a little more focused, but life happened at that point. I want to talk to you about obstacles that come your way surprisingly. After I finished my graduate degree, and I was in DC, I was in my world because I love DC. Shout out to DC, love the Mambo sauce, keep it coming. Anywho, so I was in my world and I was all excited because I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be a political reporter. Like, it's getting crazy out here. This is super cool. And God had another plan for me. I came to a screeching halt at that point. I had to kind of deal with some health challenges for a while. And that was really crushing because I had finally started to build my momentum at that point. And I had to sit down for years. And I had to recover from some things that had to be done so that I could live. I want to talk to you about how sometimes life will make you feel like you are defeated while you're on your focus journey. Now, it was important for me while I was in that place to remember that I wasn't going to stay there forever, okay? So this is for those who have survived COVID-19. This is for those of you who have contracted the virus and survived. This is for those of you who have family members and friends who have contracted the virus and have come through and survived, and now they're on the other side. I want to talk to you all individuals, including my master's degree people. I haven't forgot about you. I want to talk to y'all about how when you achieve something or you do something well or you survive something, that doesn't necessarily guarantee success for you. You still have to make sure that you move forward with a clear strategy and a clear mind. Okay? So this book and this interactive workbook and this focus training that I am doing with you all is not just for me. It's not for a glorified purpose. It's because I have been through some things and I want to help you to come out on the other side successfully as I did the master's degree graduates that just finished. You may be wondering how much your degree is going to be beneficial at this time because you just finished during the middle of a global pandemic. And now I have my master's degree, and what is it going to be good for, and when am I going to be able to use it? Use this time to your advantage to strategically plan how you could possibly use it in a different way than you originally planned to use it. Because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I earned my master's degree in journalism, and now I am choosing to use my journalistic experience and gifts and talents to tell you the good news about success and to give you, to use a little lingo, to give you the skinny on how to succeed, to give you the code on how to succeed, to give you the secret sauce on how to succeed, to give you the lowdown, whatever term you need. I'm here to deliver the news to you on how to succeed. I have the inside report, and you are getting this live right now with Cherish McMillan and Leroy McKenzie.
And you can
Leroy.
go right now to the link. You can go right now to the link to be able to download, upload, however you want to say it. I'll go to the link to be able to get the ebook, the new ebook that's available by Cherish McMillan, your focus trainer. And it's an awesome story that she just talked about herself. And it gives you a little insight into how she came to write this book and how she came to want to show others how they too can get over and through those obstacles that they will encounter, because we all have obstacles. We all have obstacles, or if you want to live a little longer, you'll have some obstacles. I promise you. I promise you, you won't get through this life without having obstacles that you will have to be able to get through, over. You can't get around them because you're gonna have to face them head on. And what better way to be able to face them head on than by having a strategic plan on how to be able to get through them. Because as my mother used to always say, as my mother says, getting to the other side of through.
Yes.
And that's what this does, because when you allow yourself to be focused, when you allow yourself to be tuned in to the things that you want to be able to achieve, when you are tuned in and you're so aligned with what it is that you want to achieve, you'll understand that you won't let anything keep you from obtaining the goals that you want to obtain, or completing the assignments that you want to complete. I call it my Be Unstoppable mindset. It's not just a hashtag, it's a lifestyle. Being unstoppable is a lifestyle. Being focused is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle mindset that you must have in order to be able to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. And Cherish gives folks the ability to be able to, okay, sway to the left or sway to the right, but bring you back to the center. It's almost like a car. When you've driven your car for several years, you have to get what's called an alignment. You get a front wheel alignment, you get a back alignment. Most of the time, not a back. You get the back as well, but mainly when you get an alignment, it's usually your front wheel. It's that front wheel alignment, because there's an adjustment that needs to be made to your car because if you allow your car, the wheel to go, when you need, the way that you can tell if you need an alignment is your car will drift to the left or it'll drift to the right automatically. But when you get that alignment and it's able to, and it's put back into the center, what happens is the car will be able to move straight when you let the steering wheel go. It'll glide straight, but it has to be put back in that position, and that's what this focus book does. It puts you back into that position where you're like, okay, yeah, I moved to the left or moved to the right. I lost what I was doing, but now I'm back on track. And all of us know in some way, shape, form, or fashion, dealing with the stay-at-home order that we have right now, dealing with the coronavirus or COVID-19, not really understanding what's going to happen, the uncertainty, all of those things, being focused can be a challenge. It can be a challenge. So how do you do that? How do you reconcile now where you have some parents, and we'll probably get into that too a little bit, how do you as a parent now who, you got the kids home with you all day now, all day now, and they need to be on a schedule. You're trying to get work done because you're working from home now, so you got to keep them occupied while you try and do stuff mobilely and everything like that, to give them a schedule. All of these things, you might have a husband and wife that are both home now, dealing with one or the other, your spouse all the time, where you can go to the job and but it's a new dynamic that you might have to be dealing with. So how do you take in all of that? How do you deal with all of that to be able to understand, how do I get the structure back? Because now I'm not waking up automatically at 7 o'clock, getting the kids up. I'm not waking up 7 o'clock automatically to get myself up, go get my morning orange juice or coffee, tea, whatever it is that I might drink. I'm heading out the door by 8 o'clock so that I can get on the highway to be able to make it to work in 20, 25, 30 minutes to an hour, however long it may have taken you to get to work, dealing with that hustle and bustle, where it's now you've got to readjust yourself to be able to get up automatically without, and not having to have the drive, which I think a lot of people may appreciate, not having to have that commute. But now you've got to be able to get up out of the bed, turn the computer on, go to your desk, turn the computer on to be able to do what you need to do, or get the kids up, get them breakfast, get them situated for their school activity that you've got to take them through during the day and everything like that, and then proceed to schedule out your day. How do you put all of that together? That's what this is, that's what part of this does for you. It allows you to understand and put into order, prioritize, if you will, even if you need to do that, what needs to be a priority for you right now, what can kind of, you can kind of need to readjust and kind of put to the back burner to be able to do. This is what this book does for the individual that will read it. And I want you to talk just a little bit about that, what you want the reader to gain from this, because it's not just a read and I'm done type of book. So, so I want you to just talk a little bit about that, what they're going to gain from having this ebook, having this book.
So from reading this ebook and actually interacting with it, because it is an interactive workbook, you are going to work through the process of completion. You are not going to just, leisurely read through it and, kind of just be done at that point. So what I want to make sure that you take away with you after you finish going through this process is that I can achieve what I desire to achieve if I would only focus. If I can focus, if I can take this acronym and use these principles and apply them to my life on a daily basis and make this my lifestyle will in essence show the evidence of my focus by way of success. That is what I want you to get and take away from this book. That if I focus and use these principles as my lifestyle, the evidence that I have been focusing will be the success that I attain through the process.
Absolutely. Now we've talked to the teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked to the young adults now who are making
Mm-hmm.
their transition. So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk to, like we said, let's talk to those adults that may be transitioning from, from having to work in a building and go to a building like we just talked about,
Mm-hmm.
but now they're working from home, or those that may be transitioning that may not have a job right now that they are even working at, and how being focused, what how being focused will assist them through this time right now, because it's not the time to fall apart. It's
No.
not the time to say woe is me. I've always said this, and I've lived by this mantra. No matter what disappointments that I have and that I go through, God will give me only 24 hours. He
Mm-hmm.
says, go boo-hoo, cry, do whatever you want to do. But that 25th hour, when that 25th hour comes, you
Yeah.
pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, you straighten your back up, you lift your head, and you keep moving. You move and do what it is that you have to do to whatever is next. What
Yes.
is next? So how does that person who is trying to discover what is next for them, how do they become focused?
I'm great that you've spoken to two things that I have personally experienced.
Exactly.
So most recently, I was working remotely. My job has begun to transition to on-site work safely with social distancing. And so I'm kind of going through that transition. We're going to get to y'all too, because you
Yeah,
need to focus in those environments too.
exactly.
I'm just going to pause for myself because I'm working through focusing in that environment. So just a quick moment of silence for my daggone self. But those who are working remotely, for the period that I was working remotely during the pandemic, I had a different experience. I actually appreciated being able to work remotely.
Okay.
However, there were some challenges in working remotely and staying focused because, I mean, you have everything that you need and want at home.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the bigger issue was the things that you wanted at home.
Okay.
I noticed that it was an important thing to remember that although I'm home, that doesn't mean that I get to party all day. Wow, does
Absolutely.
anybody else notice this party and fun theme popping up over and over again for me? It's a thing. Anyway, so I had to remember that, it's okay to take a brain break or a mental break, to stop and maybe have a dance party and, tap in, to like house party and play a quick game of like heads up or something like that with my homegirl just as a little quick mental break. But like, I couldn't just keep doing that all day through the workday. I had to kind of reel myself in and, remember, okay, I'm on the clock. I work with this organization. We have a mission, and I work with a mission driven, purpose driven organization. And
Okay.
so, no, we're not just motivated by the money or the profit that we get from the work, but we're impacting lives of those in need.
Absolutely.
So, one of the biggest motivating factors for me to stay focused was that others are literally depending on my
Mm.
focus for their life, for their well being, for their safety, for their health. And so, that kind of comes back to one of the points that I made earlier in one of the videos that I posted earlier about how my mother recently reminded me that I don't succeed for myself, but I succeed so others can succeed. So my success in focusing their success and their security in this time of uncertainty and insecurity was hinging on my ability to focus in a different environment, in a comfortable environment that could have easily gotten me off track. And so that required me to do things like actually wake up and actually get dressed and actually shower and wash. And these are some basic things, but there are some basic things that you're going to have to remember to do while you're working remotely so that you can stay on track. It's a mindset. Okay. You have to train your mind. You have to train your mind to focus. I'm here to help you do that. You have to make sure that you get dressed. You do your hair. Okay. I mean, ladies, if you feel like you need to beat your face to like feel like you're in the mindset to do your work and be productive, do that. Fellas, if you feel like, you know what, I need to put on that three-piece suit so I can feel like, I'm important and I'm an executive in this situation in my house, what you need to do so that
Let me
you can
ask you.
be focused
Let me
in
ask you
getting your
something
work done.
real
I
quick.
found that helped me a lot.
I want to ask you something real quick because what you just said, I just noticed that what you just said, because a lot of or most of them, of the reporters that I see, or even the interviewers that are on CNN, MSNBC, they're wearing their shirts and ties, even though they're at home. And I think that's important for people to understand that goes into our mindset. It's just something that I noticed when you were saying that I paid attention to with individuals. They still dressed up, and even some of the sermons or services that I watched this morning, the pastors that I watched were fully dressed. They had the suits on. They didn't necessarily have a tie on. A couple of them did have the tie on, but they had the suits on. They had the collared shirt on and everything like that. So how does that? Do you think that plays a part in folks and how they feel and how focused they stay and are?
I think that part of that is actually self-care, right? So,
Okay.
sometimes like certain things make you feel good. And when you feel good, you feel confident. And when you feel confident, then you can focus and be productive. Because your mind is not wandering and wondering about, who you are. Because when you're feeling confident, you're sure in yourself, right?
Right.
So we want to make sure that you're sure in who you are and you're sure in your ability and you're sure in your success. And sometimes it just takes something as small as putting on the uniform. Okay. You know how like Superman rips the shirt open, you see the S, it's time to go, right? Batman, he got to switch it up real quick and then he's ready to go. Let's bring it up to, some more other characters. Black Lightning, like you don't see him just walking around in his suit. He got to switch it up. Thunder, she has to switch it up. Luke Cage, he's not just going around knocking people out and doing this stuff, but when it's go time, he takes his mind to where he needs to be because he is his uniform, right? You are your uniform. So it really all starts in the mind. The outfit or the attire is just a little help. It's just a little boost if you need it. Just like when I go to work out, like I'm not gonna go work out in this, y'all. I'm not like because I am going to go and work out later on, and I'm gonna go put on my dry fit fitness gear, and I'm gonna pull my hair up, and I'm gonna go out, and you know what? I'm gonna look like something else because who knows what I'm gonna look like at the end of the run. But I have to make sure that I'm in uniform. You have to dress your body and your mind for what is to come, for what you need to do. So my advice to those who are working from home is to do what you need to do in your environment in order to feel. Okay, it's really relative. Okay, because you can be in your pajamas and still be focused if you're disciplined enough to do that. I don't want to mislead people and make them think that you have to dress up in order to be focused, right? But if you feel like if you're in your jammies and you're going to be a little bit too relaxed and you need to go on ahead and at least put some jeans and a tee on, and if that's too casual, go on ahead and get all in full business. Okay, get off of your bed, sit in your chair, and work at the table. If you need to do whatever you need to do, if you need to change the scenery, then take your cell phone and your laptop with you and get your hotspot going so that you can work somewhere outside of your house. I don't care if you're just in your car and that ends up being your office for the workday so that you're not in the house, so that you can have a change of scenery. Do what you need to do safely in order to be focused during this time. Those of you who have lost your jobs during this time, I know that that has to be doing something to you on the inside for sure, especially if you didn't have a backup plan, because everybody doesn't have a backup plan. Everybody does not have savings, and some of us are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. I can tell you from personal experience, when you lose a job and you don't see it coming, it is devastating.
Absolutely.
So what I want you all to do right now is focus on your mental health. Okay. I want you to focus on your mental health. And one way that you can do that, if you are willing to, and if you're even able to get out of bed today, you may be watching this laying down in your bed, on your pillow, turned to the side. But if you can find it in yourself today and the weather's all right, get up and go for a walk and listen to some music that makes you happy or makes you feel inspired while you're on the way. And if you just want to be out there and listen to nature, do that. But just try to get up and move and do something. Okay, if you can't get up and move and do something today, then just focus on getting up. And here we go again with the self-care, because it has dual purposes, okay, for the remote workers and for those who have lost their job. Get up and just take a shower and make yourself something to eat, okay? If you can even find it in yourself to do that, okay? At least get up and wash and change your clothes, because sometimes I know that when you are in a depressive state, you may not even have it in you to do that. But that, if you have just been laying in the bed and getting up when absolutely necessary, your goal for today and your goal for this week is to get up every day, hop in the shower, and change into a fresh outfit. It can be as casual as you want it to be, but just make sure that you are taking care of your hygiene and you are making sure that you are at least eating something every day. It doesn't have to be a gourmet meal. I mean, this is so simple, but it's so serious. Because we are dealing with the uncertainty of a global pandemic and a virus that we don't even really understand yet. Then the workplace has changed. And on top of that, you may have just recently lost your position and you are not certain where your income is going to come from, where your next position will come from, and what you are going to do next, okay? But something you can be certain about, and something that you can grab control of, and something that you can focus on is making sure that you are washing and eating. Those are two things that you can control and focus on.
Absolutely.
And even though it's so small, that is something in your circle of control. And I want you to think of it like that, because it's easy for us to think about all the things that we can't control and focus on all the things that are out of our control. But this right here, this is something that you can be certain of, and this is something that you can control, and this is something that I want you to focus on, okay? So for those of you who have lost your employment, those are your 2 assignments for the week, okay? Doesn't have to be, you don't have to do some luscious exfoliating bubble bath. Now, if you want to do all that, that's cool, but it doesn't have to be all that. You can just hop in there, you know, get your thing going on, come out, and you know what? If you don't feel like moisturizing, okay, but just make sure that we are washing. If you don't feel like making no good, if you just like, look, I'm just gonna make a PB&J sandwich today. I'm not about to do all of this broiled salmon, you know, this blackened salmon with sauteed spin. You don't have to do all of that. Okay, just have a PB&J, but just do them small things for your health physically and mentally. Focus on that.
Now I mean, I think we've touched pretty much everybody with this. We've gone from the young teenagers to the young
Mm-hmm.
adults to the adults to even those who may have careers, and then even entrepreneurs that can do the same thing, that may be working from home. Because it's important that we touch all of those bases. Um, but we said this, I think, just before we came on, but what better way to enter a new week than to have something like this to be able to motivate somebody, be motivational for somebody, to inspire somebody. And you touched a little bit on some things that people can do. And I've been doing this for the um, past 2 3 weeks. I've been taking the acronyms that I have. One is leader, which stands for learning, empowering, assisting, developing, executing, and results. And I took each of those acronyms and I had people focus on a different aspect of that for that particular week.
Yeah.
And then the last couple of weeks I've had, or the last 2 weeks, because um, the week before last, I used my boss life, and that's how do you know that you're a boss? And boss stands for build, organize, shift, and sacrifice. And I had them focus on building, but I had
Mm-hmm.
them focus on organizing. And this week, I'm having people to focus on shifting. What are you shifting in your life? So I
Mm-hmm.
want you to start people off this week with how they can and what they may need to shift in their life this week. What assignments can they do to be able to shift their mindset, shift their mentality, shift um, they shift themselves in their career, shift themselves in their job. What is it that they can do this week, going into this week, to be able to do that?
Okay. So the first thing that I am going to assign you to do is accept the fact that there is a shift happening.
Wow, that's
You
huge.
have to accept that it's here. Before we
That's
can even
huge.
move forward and do anything else, your
That's
first
huge.
assignment is to accept it. Okay. I was actually talking to one of my friends earlier
Mm-hmm.
today, and we were just like kind of discussing how, oh my goodness, we have these hopes and dreams. We kind of want to like travel the world and pursue our passions by
Mm-hmm.
doing what we love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to inspire people to succeed, and I want to travel the world and inspire people to do that and help them strategically do that. And this friend, has another goal, and they explain that, well, before the Rona came, I had all these plans, and I kind of like to do things, a certain way, and I can't travel anywhere, and I can't do anything, and this and that or the other. And I just kind of responded to them, and they're into the arts and things like that, so they're
Okay.
kind of like pursuing that arena. And I
Mm-hmm.
explained that, what the Rona has done for you. The Rona has given you an opportunity to build your portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
You have an opportunity as an artist to build your portfolio right now,
Right now,
because
wow.
yes, because you have to think about it, right? Do you want to sit here and not use this opportunity and not be ready when it comes? Because that is the worst thing. Use
Mm-hmm.
this time now to get ready. This is your second assignment. Now that we've accepted what's happening, we're going to start moving forward into adapting into the atmosphere, which is shifting your thinking and knowing that, I can go on ahead and use this time to my advantage. Okay. So we're adapting. Our adaptation is starting to kick in because we're figuring out how we can use it to our advantage. And third, we are going to adjust. Okay. We got a AAA action going on here. We're accepting, we're adapting, and we are adjusting. The adjustment for my friend who is in the arts is pursuing their portfolio. Okay, they're going to pursue the building of their portfolio. No, you cannot travel the world and get various images and do different shows and things like that at this moment during COVID-19. But what you can
And
do
do.
is walk around and visualize things, because if you're an artist, you should have an eye for different things, and you can go right around your neighborhood and start getting some bomb portraits, or you can start recording some amazing videos, or you can start painting things that you see in your neighborhood right in front of you. You can get online and start doing some live things, or start posting some videos about how you are doing your art, what your thinking process is. Start teaching people how they can do it. Inspire others to do it. Show people who may be seeking out people who are going to do what you want to do after this passes. Because I heard from one of my other friends who's in the travel industry that once things get in order, travel is going to be booming. They are going to need people who do things in a traveling capacity in a major way when this passes, and it will pass, because nothing lasts forever. So make sure you are doing your AAA deal in action right now, not roadside assistance, although I recommend having that. We are going to accept what's happening right now. We are going to adapt to what's happening, and then we are going to adjust to what the situation is at hand. By doing our AAA system, we are going to be able to focus and succeed by doing so.
That and those three things are phenomenal. Give them one more time. Give those three things one more time, real quick. So
AAA action. You are going to accept your current situation. You are going to adapt to your current situation, and you are going to adjust to your current situation so that you can be propelled forward through your focus and succeed by doing so.
absolutely, and that is absolutely awesome, and I think that's a great way to kind of leave that where we are because we got like 20 minutes left for people to be able to go to. Yeah, 20 minutes left for people to be able to go to, click on the link, the Amazon link, to be able to get the ebook, to be able to get the ebook that has the focus, the five principles of success by Cherish McMillan. And as y'all can see, this is just a phenomenal woman who is just giving you just some pure nuggets, her gems for you to be able to take and to be able to, no matter your stage in life, to be, how to be able to stay focused, how to be able to get focused. If you have kind of swayed to the left or swayed to the right, like I said, and how to be able to shift yourself going into this week, because it's not only the goal for us to make you better after this encounter that you've had with Cherish, um, not just this encounter, but it's moving forward so that by the end of this week, by the end of this month, by the end of this quarter, by the end of this year, you are better because of this than you were before you encountered this, and before you encountered Cherish, before you encountered the focus principle, so that you can understand where you are, what you need to do, and how to go about doing it. Because it's never easy. It's not going to be easy. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. But that's
Yes.
why Cherish is here. That's why there are people like her who have their purpose, and their assignment is to impact your life in such a way that they make you better. And what better, there's nothing better than to have people in your circle, in your life, that want to pour into your life,
Yes.
because they want to see you be better, do better, and just to excel at everything that you want to be able to do in life. Cherish, this has been just absolutely the bomb, lady. The
Yes.
bomb, the bomb. Now y'all see why I get to hang around with her. So, you know, I
Join
get
the club. I could be a
I,
trainer
I
or
get to hang around with people like
anything.
this, that even that pour into me. I've said this all the time, that I have this picture in the glass theory, which is when you go to a restaurant, there's at the table there's always a glass at each table setting. And
Yeah.
then they bring in their pitcher of water, they bring in their pitcher of lemonade, soda, whatever it is that they're going to bring, iced tea. I said, and the pitcher is used to fill all of the glasses at the table. Um, I said, and sometimes we have to be we're the glass and we get poured into, but then sometimes we're the pitcher and we sometimes we're the glass and get poured into, sometimes we're the pitcher that we pour into. And Cherish is one of those that is a pitcher, but she's also a glass as well. And understanding when to do what, because I'm a pitcher and I'm also a glass. Today I get to be a pitcher, hopefully, with her. Today, no, actually, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take that back. Today I get to be a glass because I've been listening to her and I've been taking my notes. So today I'm the glass, she's the pitcher, and hopefully the people who have been listening, have been watching this, this podcast, have gained something where they get poured into, but then they can now, once they've taken the information and used it, they can then become the pitcher to someone else. Yeah. And it's all about, to me, it's all about impacting. Because I always say, when you chase the impact, you change the world. You change the world. And Cherish is not only a focused trainer, but she is an impact chaser. She's chasing that impact because she's changing the world. She's changing the world by pouring into people, by being in office. She's changing the world by being a speaker. She's changing the world by being a visionary. And she's not afraid to not only go after her vision, but she gets enjoyment, which is a jewel in and of itself. She gets enjoyment out of seeing other people bring their vision to reality. And you can't help but, but see that and cheer that on as she does. So Cherish, give your information where people, even after today, but they can go to the link, and we'll put the link on here as well, but where people can also go after today to be able to still purchase the ebook, to be able to get it and still be able to download it, and all your other information, contact information.
So in order to purchase my ebook, you want to go to Amazon.com, and if you type in Cherish McMillan, that is CHERISH McMillan. Again, that is CHERISH along with Focus. You'll be able to find me, my book, and you'll also be able to find my book, the link to it in this status here, with this live podcast. And you can also find more information about me and connect with me at my website at www.cherishmcmillan.com. That is www.cherishmcmillan.com. www.cherishmcmillan.com. So, just as a reminder, I do want you all to remember that you can achieve anything you desire if you focus.
Absolutely. And I'll end it by saying this. And I wrote this down yesterday because I was watching the video, and it says, don't quit until you live the life that you dream. And I'll say this, don't quit until you live the life, or you're living the life that you focus on. So y'all know what it is. 2020, fast and furious, move with purpose and passion. And as I always say, chase the impact, because when you chase the impact, you change the world. We're just a bunch of impact chasers trying to change the world. This is Cherish. This is Leroy McKenzie. And we'll talk to y'all next time.